when last we journeyed together. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? And now we embark again.
But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
The machine. Okay, let's keep going. Ma'am, glad to see you have arrived safely. We've captured the machine. It's waiting for you now. You can begin the interrogation whenever you like. I intend to be quiet. Very good. Just be warned that someone called the press, so we might have a bit of attention on this one. Also, one more thing that you should know about the machine. It calls itself Coda. Beginning to get the impression that the relationship between the narrator and Coda is not as we've been led to believe. Oh wow, talk about being bombarded. Do you know where these poisonous games are coming from? Have come from? Why? What can you tell us? Where did you find the machine? What can you tell us? Do you know where the poison... Yeah. Got a feeling this game is kind of Coda sending a message to the narrator that he doesn't like where their relationship's headed. Or maybe the narrator is pushing Coda further than he was willing to go. You stopped. Your work was keeping us alive. It was only because of your creations that any of us could make it through the day. Make it through every day. Yeah, this game seems that we're playing it from the narrator's perspective, and that Coda made it to try to express something to the narrator. I've been so alone. Apologize for leaving me. No, nothing. All right then. I will apologize to the people on your behalf. Yeah. Yeah, there's stuff that we're not seeing that's going on here. It may be that the narrator is suffering from a mental illness as well. Maybe he's got very strong codependency or some other disorder that I just can't fathom right now. But definitely he is putting pressures on Coda that Coda is unable to deal with. That's that to me. That's what this game is saying at this point. My friends, I have a troubling revelation. The machine will not apologize to us. But this is not important. We are stronger than it thinks we are. Let us pay it retribution. Follow me. We will destroy the machine. I'm back on the stage. Okay, we've got the gun again. I'm supposed to shoot something? Oh. I get it. He's kind of saying that what's happened has made him want to just tear down everything that he's
So
made.
now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his
It's a really
games.
horrible idea,
It
dude.
might get him out of isolation. And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for it? If he could see the difference it would make
Let's see
to
where
have
this is
more
going.
actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
Such a common yet horribly wrong misconception of mental illness. I do truly hope that this is entirely fiction and not based on reality.
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games.
Yeah.
I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games.
But how did he feel about it?
The point
Did
of it
you
all
even
was
ask
just
his
to give him
permission?
some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
Maybe that wasn't the point. Maybe he wasn't making these games to feel validated by other people. Maybe he was making these games for himself. And some of them, it seems, for you. Put down your weapon. I don't have a weapon. Oh. Well, I can't move. Can't put down the weapon. Am I supposed to shoot the engine?
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like I need. To be told that my work is good. That I am good.
That's the
when
problem.
someone really connects with a thing that I've
You
made,
projected
and they
yourself
see
onto
themselves
him
purely
without
in my
any
work,
regard for what he felt.
there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something... I really felt like I'd done something good. Like
You should have
like
asked.
I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy. So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Same sort of aesthetic we've seen before. Kind of reminiscent of the green room at the theater.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game.
Probably was trying to make a point. I really, really don't want to, and it makes me feel even more bad for feeling this way, but I'm really going to dislike the narrator.
This room actually has a maze in it.
Mm-hmm. Is it an invisible maze? Because I don't see it. Yeah.
Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Alright. What I wonder is if this is really a maze, or if it's just a large area that was not meant to be walked through, because he didn't make the maze visible to us. Yeah, I'm feeling like there's not actually a maze here. But just a very large area that you are not able to walk through.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable.
Yeah,
like the
maybe you shouldn't be modifying his
that
stuff,
one used
huh?
to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end.
You
But
had to?
that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea behind the invisible maze?
I think it has a much clearer idea than the house cleaning thing did, to be honest with you. And he probably had it looping because that meant something to him.
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code.
Okay.
Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda has made.
Guessing you're going to give me this code too?
Thought or engagement. It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
Thanks. Passed up the one by accident there.
The switch to open this door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem.
It's not about fixing the
I can
problem.
open this door for you, so let me do that.
Sometimes the last thing people want is a solution, and what they really want is just a sounding board.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game? I mean, I don't know why I would be. It's not like everything needs to have a solution.
Exactly.
I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years, I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Sorry for being so quiet, just really thinking to myself. This game evokes a lot of feelings in me that I haven't had to deal with for a while. Stuff I try not to dwell on, for fear of going back to that place. Like the pink lights there.
I just felt so strongly that if I could have connected with him, that if I could have somehow made his work my own, that I would finally be once and for all happy. It was that I needed to see myself in someone else. I needed to be someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
I can understand that feeling, dude. I mean, I've been feeling for a while that you have some issues yourself. And I feel really bad for disliking you because of it, because of what you've done to this guy, but that's a whole nother thing that I'm struggling with
Where
right
did
now.
I screw up?
Excuse me for a minute. Okay, sorry, I had to just take a minute. This kind of hit me pretty hard here. I know the rest of it had been affected me too, but this is a little more on the nose. Dear Davey, thank you for your interest in my games.
I'm the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I?
I need to ask you not to
Because of what I
speak to
did.
me anymore.
I poisoned it for you.
I think it's interesting that they got this little rope here, like they put around art exhibits, to just tell you not to reach out and touch them.
I don't think I ever told you this, But when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
I wonder at times whether you think I'm making these games for you. Well, I really feel for both these guys now.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally. For a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere, hidden between games. If there was an answer, a meaning, would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them to people against my wishes? Giving them something that is not yours to give. Violating the one boundary that keeps me safe. Again, I really super hope that this is an entirely fictional story just to bring to light certain points and to tell the story, because otherwise this is a horrible betrayal once again. Would you stop changing my games? Stop adding lampposts to them. Does the narrator even know that he's lying about the lampposts being something that Coda put in? Something to wonder about. Could be deceiving himself so much that he actually believes that. He's created
And then
this
you stopped.
fictional thing.
And I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
He's created this fiction in his own mind that he needs desperately to be true. And now he just can't have it any other way but that way. Would you simply let them be what they are? Ooh. When I'm around you, I feel physically ill. I feel physically ill right now. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think I'm frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet. Which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks. And that you make peace with this thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
Oh God, dude, please don't say you killed yourself. And finally, or when you finally see what I'm talking about, don't say anything.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work.
No switch
is
this time.
because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will
think
you
the walls
start
are
making games
collapsing.
again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again. And I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will, but there's nothing else that I can do. Just tell me what you want.
I want you to get therapy.
I'm sorry. I'm
Get help.
sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. And I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Well, I am glad that the thing he said he did because he hated himself was releasing the work again when he was told not to, and not harming himself. This is rough.
More love, more praise, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more. It's like a disease.
Into the train.
Solution. I guess if someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate.
Maybe.
I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed.
Maybe if you
Maybe he just
talk
likes
to
men in
him.
prisons.
At this point, I'm pretty sure this is all just fictional. But I really feel like I hope the narrator is okay with himself now.
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Yeah. Hello, cave. Even though I'm pretty sure it's fictional, man, it what an emotional roller coaster here.
If I knew that my life depended on finding something to be driven by other than validation, what would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
I am grateful that I've never had that problem. Never really been driven by the need for other people to tell me I am or something that I've done is good. I mean, I'm a creative person, but mostly I create just to be creating to make people happy. That is an issue that I've had, which goes back to the whole problem with not being able to say no to people. For some reason, I've just always valued other people's happiness and well-being more than my own.
What now?
Always makes me happier to see someone else joyous than something that should make me happy on my own.
And I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm just gonna... Okay.
Which is another thing I have to be so careful about myself, is I have a tendency to try to just give to people, even material, emotional, monetary, to the point that I've put myself in emotional deficits, put myself in financial issues, just because I can't keep from giving things away to people that I perceive that need it. It always seems that somebody's worse off than me, and it's something I still have to work on and struggle with all the time. Down the hall. Elevator here. This looks very similar to the start of this section. No doors in the alcoves. The stairway, I believe, is a whole lot bigger than the one before was. Here we are. Back to almost the very beginning with the engine room that wants you to sacrifice yourself. I don't really know what all I'm feeling right now. I just know that I'm feeling it very strongly. Floating up and out. Wow. So that's the beginner's guide. I'm feeling a lot of things right now, and I felt a lot of things throughout this playthrough. One thing for certain, I sincerely hope that playing this game has not made it so that you will not give it a chance and go out and support the developer. I'm not entirely certain what the developer was trying to say, or even if he was completely certain in what he was trying to say with this game. I thought several different things at several different times throughout this. And I'm not sure if any one of them were correct. And I'm sure my own personal experiences and what I've been through in life have colored my own interpretation of it. I'm not sad that I played it. It made me sad at times. It made me feel a lot. A very wide range of emotions, and maybe that is the point. Maybe that's just the point of the game. It's to just evoke feeling. I'm glad it exists. I hope that more things that are made to evoke feeling like this come to exist. I mean, this is not the first that I've played that have made me feel things. Feel very strongly. And I certainly hope it's not the last. I don't know what else to say, guys. Share it with a friend. Let people know that this is something worth experiencing. And until next time, be excellent to each other.